Easter Sunday night, 2 years ago, we had a tornado rip through just before daylight. Alright, thank the Lord that it didn't hit the house. It came close, about 100 yards, and we didn't have to deal with that. It did some people. The path was about 14 miles long. It stayed on the ground. It tore up a pile of stuff. But thank God we were all safe in the house. But the farm went from looking like this with 30-year-old pine trees that were just about ready for harvest to looking like this. Before and after. When something like that happens, what do? I was at an absolute loss. First thing I did was call my NRCS office and everybody I could think about, my state forester, the forester for our area. Now, through them, I've been blessed we harvested up the scrap wood. I had a friend of mine that's a logger that did me a really good turn. He could harvest that storm wood. About half of what it would have been if it had been a harvest, but that happens. But thank God and thank state programs, NRCS, check with them. If you have something like that, or if you've just cut pine trees and you're looking to replant, or you've cut trees of any description, check with your government officials. They have a lot of good programs and a lot of good things, because I'm an ex-school teacher. I'm an old basketball coach. I can't afford to do that. But through those programs with cost share, I'm doing it today. Now, we have sprayed. We've sprayed everything where the tornado came through. We've burned, and got the stumps that were all pulled out of the ground. We got those consolidated semi in rows. Together with the forester, we talked about a plan of turning this from a curse to something that's a blessing for my children. It won't be for us, but it will be for the children. Let me get everybody in. All right, we got the guys here ready to plant. These are longleaf pines. And as hard as these guys work, this 28 acres will be planted probably by the end of the day, and it's about 12 o'clock. Alright, when you're planting longleafs, you plant in plugs like we got here. These are containerized, which means they've still got dirt on the roots. And they're best hand planted instead of mechanical planting. You get them too deep, it ruins the bud and you're done. And as you can see, these guys don't mess around. They just start planting and roll it. However you stand politically, not my business. Alright, but it is my business to appreciate that a workman is worthy of his hire. You're going all day long, bent over dibbling pine trees into the ground. Good luck finding Americans, gringos, who want to do that all day, every day, 7 days a week while planting season's in. If you look at these longleafs, you got a bud that grows right out of the center, and it grows straight up. Unlike other species of pine trees. If you look, these guys have already planted about 1/4 of an acre, and they've been going about 15 minutes. If you cover that bud on these little pines, if the bud gets covered, it will silt over and kill it. The other thing you really got to watch with these is it gets in what they call the grass stage, and if you let vegetation compete with this, it will shut these down. I've run into that before. But hopefully we will herbicide treat. A lot of people burn. That's kind of controversial whether you burn the needles off or you chemical treat it. But hopefully we're looking at about 20 years. I'll never cut it, but the kids may, hopefully. Until then, I'm just thankful to be rebuilding from this tornado. Okay, a couple of quick things about this longleaf plant and about planting longleaf pines. You look over here, we got slash pines. These are slash. These on the other side are regular loblolly, but it doesn't matter. When canopy closes, there's no food underneath there because you're not getting sunlight to the ground. But when you plant these longleafs, they give a thin crown that lets a lot of sunlight come in. And that extra sunlight, that's going to feed a whole lot of animals. So even though you got planted pines, you're growing feed, you got quail habitat. It's a lot better than just going a straight industrial pine plantation. And one other thing I'm going to show you, if you look at my rows are crooked. Now that would run a logger crazy because my rows are crooked. I had them follow the path of this driveway. But it doesn't run me crazy for two reasons. One is, old fella told me one time, crooked rows mean more trees. I don't believe that. But the real reason is this. When you plant them with a little wave in it, that eliminates a hawk zooming in. If you got dead straight rows in your pine trees, a hawk has a dead straight path to hit quail on the way up. With the S in the rows, they don't. They can't see around the bend, so that will save a little quail over time just by having crooked rows, and that starts with planting. And the other reason I'm not worried about it, it's going to be 25, 30 years before this is cut, maybe 35 before it's final cut, so I'll be long gone. So that's on children and the loggers, but just thought I'd throw that one in. All right, the guys have finished. We've planted the entire acreage. You see we're decked out now in Cartel gear. Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate you subscribing. Check us out next week. Talk to you then. Bye.